My name is Osahon Tongo. I went to Georgia Tech and got a degree in business management, and I played on the football team as a middle linebacker and a defensive end. For me, education was at the forefront of everything. My parents, I'm a first generation Nigerian American, and both my parents, I was actually born at Purdue University while my parents were getting graduate degrees. So education was a big part of our life. It's assumed that we were going to go to college. We didn't really play football growing up, but I did join once I got to junior high and everybody else was playing. And I was kind of lanky, a little pudgy, and as we got into the weight room, I got a little stronger and faster, and by my sophomore year, I got moved up to varsity during the playoffs. And at the end of my junior year, I finally started getting some accolades, and then one of my coach's dad actually came up to me and he was like, "Have you ever thought about playing in college?" And I was like, "I don't know, I was playing for fun." When sports and different things started picking up, I had to make sure that I worked twice as hard to make sure that I had the right grades and the right scores to get to the colleges that I wanted to. So I was taking practice ACTs, and I remember I had to learn new techniques. So I got a tutor specifically for English and then a certain part of math. And I started doing that. So that was one of the things that I picked up, and I had to make sure I scheduled that in between practice and training. And then at the same time, I had to keep up with my schoolwork. So I took mostly AP and advanced classes, and I had around a 3.9, 3.8 GPA, and I did pretty well on my ACT. There were certain times where I didn't really hang out with friends as much because I knew that I was going on to a next level. And then also, I just couldn't play. My parents wouldn't let me play unless I had good grades. I started getting recruited more heavily my junior year. I got all conference honors, and I made my highlight tape myself. We had the old DV tapes back in the day. So I was editing, that was the first thing I edited, my own highlight tape. And I sent it off to the local scout recruiter, which Edgy Tim in Illinois, and then I sent it off to Miami, Texas, and Illinois, and all these different schools that I was interested in, into Rivals.com and Scout.com. A good thing for me was I was recruited across the board. So I got recruited by Stanford, Duke, Boston College, Northwestern. Ivy League schools were recruiting me, offering me scholarships for academics, and Georgia Tech was where I ended up landing. There's a number of people that I might have seen in the conference or even on my team that were more talented, maybe faster or stronger, but they didn't have the opportunity to go because they couldn't hit the SAT score or get the GPA to go. These institutions of higher learning have high standards, so you have to be able to actually be able to stay in school once you get there. When you go to college on scholarship, especially in Division I, your first priority is the sport. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you guys. It's a student athlete. And if you're spending 40 hours, March Madness, they have to take tests on planes and they have to travel. They're traveling, they're playing 3 games a week. So how many times are you gonna go to class during that time period? So you're skipping classes, you're focusing on this, we're training all day, we have to set our schedules around that. And you're waking up at sometimes 5:30 in the morning to do 6 o'clock workouts before a day of class and workouts and tutoring or whatever. You get home at 8, 9 o'clock. You have to decide in those 3 hours before 12 o'clock, do I do my homework? Do I have a social life? Do I rest? Do I stretch? What do I do? Watch film? And then the next day you wake up at 6 o'clock again. So as long as you understand that, there's a little humility and the dignity that goes with the lifestyle of playing sports in college. So my main advice would be make sure you're good with yourself and centered and focused on what you want to be and the person you want to be. Make sure you're building habits that are going to benefit you in the future as far as your diligence and your hard work on the field, off the field, and make sure that you maintain a moral compass and a standard for yourself that is above what other people have for you. Because at the end of the day, when you go off away from home, you're by yourself. And those coaches can get transferred or traded or move, and the coach that recruited you can not be there anymore. So you really have to lean on your family, your own morals and values and your habits, and understand that, you know, they're playing the game. They're pimping you. You got to pimp them back. I don't know how better to say that, but if they're making billions of dollars on you, you better get that education, and you better build your network, and you better appreciate the expanse of that experience. So take care of yourself. Thanks, SupertutorTV. Check out some more videos and learn more about ACT prep, college, and all the other fun stuff.